what starts happening is a lot of informal connects, a lot of catches, a lot of conversations, offline conversations. When these offline conversations happen without you realizing, there's a very special bond that is being created. And when you go out there on the stage to speak, that bond also comes into play. That really helps you to mark yourself as a good speaker. Now, why I'm for this particular statement is because of multiple reasons. The moment anybody becomes a leader, they know that it's your action that will speak. So if I want to become a good leader, I also have to be a good public speaker as well. I can't look forward to become a good leader without not being a good public speaker. Apart from that, I need to lead with examples. So these are my pointers. If I have to think about whether will there be a position wherein a person becomes a person is able to become a good public speaker without being a leader? Let's try and understand and let's try to break it down. Now, whenever we talk about any kind of speaking, there was this one person who had mentioned that when it comes to especially Toastmasters, the beauty of Toastmasters is you don't need a formal designation. We also need to understand this particular point is a leader is not somebody who is always on the papers. You can always be a leader without being on the papers as well. And if somebody is a leader without being on the papers, that person becomes an amazing public speaker. So these are my thoughts around why it is important. And above all, my only takeaway will be irrespective whether you hold a position, you don't hold a position, you can always become a good leader.
Okay. Harini, would you like to throw some insight into this statement, whether we can become great public speaker without being a leader?
Okay. So if I have to, first of all, if I need to understand what a speaker is, for me, how I see a speaker is someone who is able to deliver his ideas, his or her ideas well, and also has some ideas to deliver. So the idea comes first, then the delivery comes, and then they become a good speaker. So I think anybody can be a good speaker if they practice well. But if they have to become a great speaker, then there will have to be a component of leadership there, because again, as I try to define a speaker, I'll also define a leader. A leader is somebody who does something not just for himself or herself, but for the community and for the people that he's associated with. So a speaker is a more individual role, a leader is more community driven role. So a good speaker can talk for himself, but a great speaker will talk for the people, will create content that will help the people. So if I want to be a good speaker, I can work on my communication and my presentation skills. But if I want to become a great speaker, I need to understand what my community needs, what do they want to hear, how can I help them, and then if I create content based on that, and if I deliver that empathetically so that my community, my people understand it, then only will I become a great speaker. So the journey of from a speaker to a good speaker can happen with everybody, but the journey of from a good speaker to a great speaker, that for that to happen, leadership skills are very important as well.
So you feel at one point of time being a good public speaker and a leader will overlap with each other moving forward?
If a speaker has to move forward in his journey of communication, then leadership skills will have to be there. Otherwise, it will be very individualistic. It will be centered around that person, because that person just wants to give a message out. He might not want to explore, is it useful for my audience, is my audience getting any value out of it, or am I driving any progress with it. But only when a speaker thinks of all these things, and he will think of all these things only when he thinks as a leader, not as a speaker.
Okay.
So yes, it will
We'll come
overlap,
back
and
to
it,
you. We'll come back to you. I would also like to know the views of Nain regarding this. Whether we can become great public speaker without being a leader. Nain, would you like to throw some light on it?
I would like to share instance from my own journey as well. At the same time, I want to keep an assumption around as well. How I see leadership is that leadership is a art where you let others help you achieve the goal that you want, by keeping in mind their goals and helping them to associate with you to get the bigger goal. Now, putting Toastmasters into perspective, I started off in Toastmasters to work on my communication skills. I never knew that leadership is something that can help out. Or I just thought I'm doing something out in the corporate world. Let me just continue with it. Now, while I was communicating with people and understanding different roles, the format itself presented an opportunity in form of leadership, which was starting point as an associate, and later on it had other elements of it. Now, if I take my earlier assumption that leadership is only about inspiring people, the art of inspiring people can only come in when you know how to communicate well. If people are ready to follow you, that's because of your intent. Public speaking is just the spark that helps you achieve that intent. A great leader could be a person who can motivate others, but necessarily not be a great communicator. A charismatic leader is somebody who can inspire people, can get the job done, as well as a great speaker as well. That's my 2 cents on it.
Okay, so you feel that being a great leader would require some public speaking skills at the beginning, or so that people can understand your perspective and follow you better. Is that what you mean by your statement?
Exactly, because if you look at our current leaders as well, all of them constantly work on upgrading their skill set with regard to public speaking. You look at any politician's journey or any modern personality's journey, you will find that from the moment they started off and today, how their speaking patterns have developed. Either they have gone through some professional courses or have taken any coach's help to develop on their communication skills.
Okay, so we'll shift back our focus from politicians to Toastmasters and come back to a situation that is affecting all Toastmasters club throughout the world, the coronavirus pandemic. Meetings have shifted online. So do you think it would be possible to groom the next executive committee considering the pandemic situations and meetings shifting online? Abu, would you like to throw some light on that?
Now this is an elephant in the room. Can we groom our people considering that there is no offline meeting? Now, I personally feel that, to do something, what is very important is intent. The intent is always the most important thing behind doing something. If you have the right intent, irrespective it is online meeting or offline meeting, you can always help people. I personally feel it is when it comes to helping people and when we want to help people via online, it always becomes very easy because then I don't have to actually figure out a time. So if you have to call somebody to a particular place, we'll meet in this particular place, then I'll talk to you and then we'll upgrade ourselves. In a week's time, how many times can you meet? One. And considering our meetings and everything, how much time can you give that person? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Do you think that is sufficient? The answer is no. So even if it was offline meeting and if we talk about grooming of the people, we used to definitely meet. That touch point is important, but primarily it used to happen with the help of technology. Now the only difference is now that touch point is not there. But what is now, which is very important, and again that's an advantage being a leader, is it's very important to keep a tap on your people. So if your intent is there, I suppose this will create a wonderful opportunity. This will help us explore a lot of new mediums as well. For me, it's like a blessing in disguise. I just have to go schedule, ensure that they are flexible. The other best part about pandemic is now people can't say that they are going out somewhere. So, nobody can tell you that they're going out somewhere. So there can never be a position when somebody can tell you that I don't have time because time is in abundance. What was luxury is no longer a luxury. It is in abundance today. So if I have to talk today and if I have to get some time, it's very easy for me. So yes, with the right intent, irrespective whether it's online or offline, primarily online, we can definitely upgrade our members.
Okay, you feel that since we have shifted online, we can focus more on our members and groom them for leadership position. Yes. Harini, since you have also served in the topmost position in a Toastmasters club, how do you feel that online meetings would affect the next incoming EC, EC? How would they face the situation?
it is going to be a very tough situation. We can't deny that. Given that getting people to even the online regular meetings, in the physical venues, even that was a little bit difficult. ECCU executive committees used to work a lot hard on that. And given the current situation, it is going to be tough. But I feel that the EC, the executive committee, and the members both together have to be given a vision now. So it just the vision that I need to improve my public speaking or my leadership skills is not going to help. Here, a bigger vision is to be given to people so that the executive committees are able to get people to attend the meetings. And by vision, I mean there are a lot of things at stake today. One thing is the careers are at stake. The mental health is at stake. Um Community, there are so many things that are at stake. And when we have an opportunity like this in Toastmasters, where we can virtually meet people and interact with them and also improve our communication skills, that is a big opportunity and a very positive sign for future. So this is the vision that the executive committee and the executive committee that is going to be elected. This vision has to be given to them so that they work towards it. I don't think it's tough. I don't think that it's impossible because companies are doing it who are who work for profit. And we are people who are driven by the desire to give back to society and also to improve ourselves. So it can be done, but the vision has to be there.
Okay,
Then
so
we
you also think that it would be a blessing for us if the meetings have shifted online, the new ECs can focus on key areas. Then, do you also feel the same, or do you have something else in this perspective to say to us?
So one thing lovely that I've learned from one of the panelists out here, Abu, is that when I see him, it's a full ball of energy around me. So when I started off with the online format, attending the meetings, I thought the magic is going to be lost. Actually, the magic isn't lost. Now that brings me to the point where we are still connected with the use of technology. We are not there physically. I agree that public speaking is a contact sport. But growing up, we have seen that a lot of changes in the technology has come. When radio used to be a format where people used to get inspired listening to radio formats of politicians and media people, or in the Toastmasters fraternity itself, we have projects revolving around radio, TV, or the press conference, or a similar format like this. We cannot neglect the need of technology being upgraded around. And how the world is also evolving, I think this is the best moment for anybody to hone their leadership skills. Today, I am working on my skills as a communicator and a leader. And if I utilize this opportunity of leadership to interact with 7 people plus another set of 30 or 40 people who would not like to work with me in the real world when things get sorted out. People will be looking out for work from home opportunities or to manage teams remotely. A great leader can work on their strategies on how they can implement it. We already have a system in place which has developed over 90 years of experience. We have set formats. All you need to do is follow the book exactly how it is, put your own innovation into it, and see how you can take it forward. You know what the end result is. A 2-hour meeting, crisp on time. The members are learning. That's the key area to work upon, and everybody is sharing feedback. If that is something a leader is able to do, then trust me, whether it's online, offline, or anywhere, it is still working for me.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Nayan. Amir, you have been a part of community club and corporate club as well. Do you think the challenges faced by the EC or the incoming EC in both type of clubs would be same or they would be different?
So I think from my experience, I can say that I've seen a lot of corporate clubs, including mine, who were already following the online meeting format much before this requirement started. Uh, Compared to that, community clubs were not following the online meeting format. So, for example, at Adobe, we had 2 different locations connected by video conferencing, and even our AC team was split. So 3 of the AC members used to be at one location and 4 of the AC members at another location. I know of many other such companies who have been doing such hybrid meetings online and offline, and the AC team was split. This was something which was already adopted at the corporate level, because many locations used to come together. Something which was not followed at the community, but that was the beauty. That was the beauty of community clubs also, that everybody used to come together and come with that mindset of learning and taking part in Toastmasters meeting. However, even for community clubs, I think Toastmasters provided this platform of meeting with people and getting mentored by people even much before this. I have known a lot of people who have mentors uh, separated by oceans and countries. I know of a Toastmaster in Delhi who has a mentor in Kolkata, who has a mentor in Canada. So these kind of setups are already there. People were being mentored by everybody else all around, not just by somebody they would meet on a regular basis when they meet physically. Uh, so I believe that people will overcome this challenge. This will not be a roadblock. It's just a mindset thing. Community clubs, corporate clubs might have a little head start to it, but uh, community clubs being the centers of excellence that they are, I think they'll soon catch up with whatever the difference is.
If so, in all four of your opinions, I think the situation you feel would be a blessing in disguise, and as Toastmasters, we can take benefit from this situation, and the new EC won't be having any problems with respect to the challenges they'll face. Moving on, as we all know, Toastmasters clubs thrive on membership strength. In this situation, since meeting have shifted online, all the guests that are coming into online meetings are those from other Toastmasters club. The meetings which are being attended by me or some other, I have always got feedback that only guest Toastmasters are attending. So how do you feel that membership strength would be affected for the next 6 months or so? Harini, would you like to throw some insight on that?
Okay. So I am not in direct contact with the club, so I might not have direct first-hand insights on this. But what I feel is um, there is a possibility that the membership might drop, and we need to work uh, with cognizance of that. And that's why this is going to be the first challenge for the EC. Probably not getting people to attend the meeting, because now it's more accessible. The meeting room is more accessible than ever before. So attending the meeting is not going to be that tough, but um, getting them to renew is going to be the toughest activity. And yeah, I feel that will be impacted, and the actions, the decisions need to be revolving around it to solve this challenge.
Okay. Abu, you have been serving as the current president of a club in South Delhi. How do you feel that membership would be affected by this pandemic?
So that's a very important point that we are talking about here. And now we need to look at two important things. It will definitely get impacted if people don't get their salaries. Now that is a very important thing. If after 2 months, 3 months down the line, if the market and if the lockdown is stopped and people start getting money, it will not be difficult. There is one advantage that we have, and we saw that day before yesterday as well, Mayank, that when we went ahead and when we dropped and when we told them that there was this one member, obviously we are not going to take names. Now that member is from Canada. She was a member in India and now she is in Canada. The moment we spoke about online meeting and everything, she got excited and she went ahead and she renewed her membership. Now, one of the reasons why she renewed the membership is because as a club, we ensured that while she was preparing for her speech, we were there with her speech while she was preparing. We were there when she delivered the speech, and we were there after she delivered the speech as well. So, whenever there is a holistic, again, we come back to the same point wherein the moment you want to help people holistically, and if they have money in their bank account, they would always want to come ahead and join your club. So going forward as well, if we look at online meeting, there is something our cost as well is going to reduce. We'll not have to pay rent, we'll not have to pay for food as well. So that particular amount will get deducted. So the amount gets reduced. The only and the most important thing is, can we be with members before, during, and after? The moment we are able to do before, during, and after, I feel a lot of people, because this is what Steve Jobs has to say, this is what late Mother Teresa has to say, and all great leaders have to say, that the most important deficiency that we have today is feedback. People don't give feedback, and you give somebody feedback at the right time, and give them critical feedback, be constructive, they will fall in love with you, because nobody gives
Okay.
feedback.
Okay,
That's my
we'll
question.
come back to you, Abu. I would like to ask Nain. Nain, even after the lockdown ends, there would be social distancing measures. Do you
Right.
think membership can thrive in terms of social distancing and other measures by the government?
Sure. I would love to answer the old question as the new one as well. Can I
Sure.
start with the old one if that's allowed?
I think it's related. How do you think
All
that
right.
social distancing and membership would thrive?
All right. So I'll just say out the reason why I joined our Toastmasters, because of the quality of the format and how it enriched my learning and how the feedback system helps. Now here we need to see that if technology and the game is changing up. Earlier, how we interact with everyone. In a room, everybody is sitting, they have to be respectful of each other. They need to give feedback to each other. So they make notes or they quietly sit down and listen to the other person. The same practices need to be implemented with technology. If your club is running out an online meeting, make sure all your members are visible in a semi-professional or a professional attire with their video cameras on, so that everybody can hear each other out and see their expressions as well. At the same time, if we develop ourselves to work on feedback, it improves the quality of meeting. The members will retain if the quality is there. I will retain if quality is there, for one simple reason, that I'm still getting the value of what I used to get in an offline format as well. That's number one. Second is creativity. You need to be a little more creative with how you call up the guests. Earlier, Google used to be a great way, websites used to be a great way, and social media used to be a great way to calling up people. Now you can do that by taking up social media to a new level, where you're talking about how this can help you either personally in your mental health or professionally with your career as well. If work from home is something that you're doing and you're not good at communication or public speaking skills, because people are always looking to work on their skills. There are thousands of workshops that are going online where people pay thousands and thousands of rupees just to learn something from somebody for hours. This is a format where you're getting it for a longer period of time. And third is implementation, on how we implement the creativity and the quality. That's how a club survives in retaining the members, not because of any jumbo mumbo. The second thing that you asked me about how quarantine could affect the current membership strength even after the lockdown. Yes, there are going to be a lot of speculations around it. A lot of members and a lot of guests are going to be very peculiar about whether they want to go out or not. In that way, what we can do best is we can wait out, continue with a couple of online meetings, and let the dust settle down, and then we can go on for it. If we keep quality and we keep on inviting guests, I think we will not have a problem as a community.
Okay. Amir, do you also hold the same opinions, or do you think that it would suffer, membership would suffer?
Uh, See, this is also another big elephant in the room, and there is no denying the fact that when the entire world is right now only banking on essentials, even for the day-to-day life, then honing personal skills is something that takes a backseat, and even especially in terms of corporate clubs where the decision does not lie only on individual members, but it also lies upon the decision of the management. So it becomes even more challenging in those scenarios. uh, uh, there's always a sword hanging on corporate clubs in that sense. But then again, the entire point of doing the Toastmasters meetings was to add value to its members, to improve their communication skills. Like Nan mentioned before this, it was public speaking skills where you were addressing a set of audience sitting in front of you. Now it is about addressing an audience who are looking at you at the camera. The tools might change to improve the effectiveness of this communication, as long as Toastmasters and the community gives those tools, helps us to improve, hone those skills to become an effective communicator, whether it is addressing an audience in front by being in front of them, or while they're on the camera, I think everyone will see value and they'll allow people to continue. But then a lot of value has to be shown, both to the people who are driving the value of it, who will be driving the value out of it, and the ones who are the decision maker. So, for example, in my case, what we used to do earlier was I used to send out a quarterly report to my manager, HR management, telling them what Toastmasters Club is doing for the employees of the company. We have increased that frequency to weekly now. Every week, after every meeting, we send out the snippets of the online meeting to them, and to show them that we have given a virtual setup to employees to improve their speaking and communication skills. So you have to continuously show value to both members as well as to the decision makers, and as long as it is there, I think people will continue to be a part of it.
Okay. So we are short on time. The timer has shown me the red card, but I do have one more question. And since all four of our panelists have served in leadership positions in Toastmasters community, my question for all four of you is that many times you see Toastmasters who are not interested in taking any leadership position altogether in the Toastmasters circuit. They treat Toastmasters as a hobby. So then how do you find the next leaders within that group? Nayan, would you like to throw some insight on that?
All right. Now, it's a good question. This is a real life example which happened in my journey as a Toastmasters as well. Well, there is no right or wrong way on how you want to execute it. This is something which worked out when we were executing our EC. Now, when you have members who are taking it as a hobby, they did not sign up for Toastmasters because of the communication. The platform itself has 3 pillars, which you cannot neglect. It just says out very clearly. It's public speaking, leadership, and communication. If somebody is working on communications, then they're not effectively utilizing the other 2 pillars. So they need to be pushed up for that. Now, I agree, everybody has a different way. Everybody has a different comfort zone around it. Leadership is not just taking a position in EC. You can do that by pushing them, by making them aware about what the format is all about, and giving them a taste of different roles based on their professions or based on their experience, expertise, or in certain scenarios, interest. For example, if a college student is a little keen on joining marketing or a finance as a profession, a treasurer or a VPPR is a great push for them to learn from people who are actually doing it and see whether it's a great connect for them. If somebody wants to take up a more challenging role, then VP Ed is something, president is another role. If somebody wants to take up a role regarding hospitality, Sergeant at Arms is a great way to do that. So that's my take on it.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Nayan. Harini, having served as the president of a club, what measures did you take to find the next leaders within your club?
So I encouraged all my EC members to interact with people and not just sell the EC positions, but also to understand what they wanted. So if if any of my EC member found that a particular member would be a successor of their position, then I encourage them to not just sell the role that this is something that if you take up this role, you will get these benefits. Instead, try to understand what they want, and according to that, tell them what they will achieve if they come into the EC position. And if they don't aspire to be elected as an executive committee member, I never push them to get a successor. Yes, that is important, but a member might have different aspirations. So aligning the members' aspirations and what the club can do to fulfill that aspiration was more important for me. So that's how I tried to guide my executive committee, and everything fell in place. We just were active, we interacted with people and tried to understand what they needed.
Okay. Ahmed, do you also feel the same? Have you faced same challenges in the corporate club that you were a part of? How difficult is to find the next leader when people are not interested in taking leadership positions altogether?
Mike, I think there's a tried and tested method in Toastmasters that has worked pretty fairly well for me. Both in corporate and community club, there's no difference as such. That when you take timely action and you make a team of 3 associates at least, depending upon the position that you have, maybe 2 or 3 associates, then then there isn't much problem. And if 1 or 2 people also, and then somebody at the last moment also comes up. Let's say there's a member who join your club in the midst of the term, and they have some good Toastmasters experience, might not have, but have the good right intentions. So you have those people also that come up suddenly, but if you have prepared a set of associates for your role, then it never creates a problem. And it is extremely extremely important that this cycle of leadership keeps changing, and you identify your associates for the position that you have. It is something that should be taken care of right when the EC starts, or let's say after 1 month when the EC starts, so that this point is taken care of, and it works very very successfully. It has always worked successfully for me.
Okay. Abu, you have been serving as the president. It has been almost 4 months into your term as the president of South Delhi Toastmaster. How do you feel? What measures would you take to find the next leaders within the group? Not necessarily the next president, finding the next 7 of the EC from your current membership.
Thank you so much. So this is a very apt question, considering that very soon we will be getting into it. There is a terminology which is called emotional bank account. Primarily, emotional bank account means that when you do something, so when somebody needs help, in our case, when somebody needs feedback, and you go ahead and give that person a timely feedback, without you not realizing, you create a account in that person. So first, what you need to do is, before I push anybody for any of the role, I need to create that emotional bank account. Once that emotional bank account is created, and once that I have got that trust, it's now time for me to approach the person. Now, whenever I approach the person, and this is what Amir did to me, which I will always go ahead and tell, he told me something that was that was really, that hit me hard. And he told me that, Abu, I want to be upfront, a little upfront. Uh, at times, it's very important to challenge people as well. He told me that whenever I hear your speeches, you mostly talk about coming out of your comfort zone. But I get a feeling that you don't want to come out of your comfort zone. Again, this is just an observation. Now, that really hit me hard. And it's very important. Then I realized that what really makes a lot of difference is asking people, okay, don't tell me anything. Tell me, what are you scared of? It's okay to be scared. Tell me, what is it that is scaring you? And you'll be surprised the moment you ask people, forget about anything. Tell me, what is it that you're scared of? The moment people start expressing their fears, slowly and gradually, with every fear, you can easily ask them, what is the solution? The coaching methodology. And the moment you close that conversation, and this is what Paramjot did, and I was amazed, when whenever when Paramjot and I, we used to pitch for EC roles, and whenever people used to say that it's a difficult role, and this is what he used to say, I'm sure you did not join Toastmasters because you wanted an easy life. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So when you speak to people as well, you have to hit them hard as well. So the moment you use all of these things, are you looking for something that's easy? The answer is going to be no. Do you want to challenge yourself? Yes. Are you scared? Yes. Now, these kind of questions will literally corner a person. And after a conversation, you will definitely be able to motivate that person to go for the role. Above all, you need to always tell them that right now, if I'm talking to you, I will ensure that once you are there in the position, I'll back you as well. And if you have really supported your people in the past, they will definitely go for the role because they trust you at that point in time. Okay. For instance, in my case, it was Mayank. Mayank told me that if anything happens, again, Mayank is the interviewer, he told me that we are there. Nayan said, I am there. We will be there to support you. And the moment I looked at people like Nayan and people like Mayank, people like Ahmed, okay, who they are there, then now I don't feel the pressure because I know I can always go back to these veterans. And again, it's not just I'm the president. I have these people who can always help me at any point in time. So this is my takeaway, how we can push for a new, brilliant EC.
Okay, so you feel that by making connect with people, you can turn them into leaders by motivating them.
Yes.
Okay. We have really extended the time today. So I really thank all the panelists, Harini, Amir, Abu, and Nayan for connecting with us today and sharing your views. We also have 4 guests. I would like to know their introduction as well. So I'm unmuting them all. So please introduce yourself to the group. I would like to start with Shikha Nair.
Hi everyone, I'm Shikha Nair and I'm from Noida Toastmasters Club.
Okay, great to have you here, Shikha. The next is Qazi Nafiz Mosharraf.
So I am Qazi Nafiz Musharraf. I am from Gulshan Toastmaster Club, Dhaka.
Great to have you here, sir. Next guest is MD Sajid.
Hi everyone. Gaurav Party.
Okay. Our 4th guest is Sonika.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to know the journey of the Toastmasters that I work with. So I just joined the meeting quite late.
Thank you, Sonika. We are also supported by 2 persons without whom it would have not been possible. Our timer, Toastmaster Mohan Singh, and my this evaluator for this session, Toastmaster DTM Shahid Anwar. Thank you both, and I'll be ending this meeting. It was very great to have you here. And the meeting, I would be sharing the recording of this meeting very soon with all of you. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you,
having me.
Mayank. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayank, for inviting us.
Take care.
Thank you, Mayank.
And congratulations on your level 4.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.